They wanted us gone. They wanted every AG and every DA and every far blue, state in the country and city in the country coming after my father. Well, whether it was Letitia James or Alvin Bragg or Fannie Willis and her boyfriend and, Jack Smith. I mean, they were planting classified folders for photo shoots, at Mar-a-Lago. I can't even begin to tell you, obviously, what it was, but they wanted to put us under siege. And then they tried to kill my father, not just in Butler, but they tried to kill my father again at the golf course in Palm Beach. And that's what they did. And then they killed our friend Charlie Kirk, right? They have done everything they could to destroy the greatest movement America's ever seen. And the good news, Eric, we won. We beat these guys.
He survived 2 assassination attempts, bogus indictments, and even a raid on his home. Yet President Trump is now back in office and leading a counter-revolution against the radical left and for faith, family, and freedom. His son Erick has played a crucial role throughout, and he shares the inside story in his great new memoir, Under Siege: My Family's Fight to Save Our Nation. Erick, of course, is Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, and our good friend Clay Clark is an entrepreneur, business coach, and host of the Thrive Time Show, a national platform that's helped thousands of small businesses grow and thrive. Erick and Clay, always great to see you. We want to dig into the book, but first, a little bit of current events. Erick, we've got this government shutdown right now. Your father tweeted today, or posted on Truth Social, I should say, that this could be an unprecedented opportunity. It seems to me that Democrats may have overplayed their hand here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's right. Listen, I think people are sick and tired of the nonsense. I think people are sick and tired of, using government bills, spending bills to try and, advocate for positions, whether it be, the Green New scams, whether it be, healthcare for, illegal immigrants. Americans are sick and tired of this stuff. We have a $37 trillion deficit in this country. People want reasonable spending. People want appropriate spending, government spending. People want the government to stop living beyond their means. As Americans, we can't live beyond our means. The government shouldn't have to live beyond their means. And yet you'll have, 50 Democrats that'll hold up a bill, simply so they can get their pet projects in there, which are a waste of U.S. taxpayer dollars, which are detrimental to the country. And they won't have anything. So, Schumer's shutting down government right now. And, it's a shame. But I'm glad my father's holding firm. I'm glad he's not, acquiescing to pay, the medical bills of every illegal immigrant who wants to come over our border and literally break U.S. laws. And, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's madness. And Clay, you specialize obviously in helping small businesses grow. Talk about the business climate in America right now. America is back in many ways, certainly in an economic sense. Talk about why this is a great time to do business in America under President Trump.
Well, there's probably a technical term for it, but I call it swag. I think the Trump administration has brought some swag back to the American entrepreneur. I know guys who are entrepreneurs, doctors, dentists, lawyers, and when you don't have confidence about the direction that the country's heading, it makes you want to not invest. It makes you not want to hire. It makes you want to not look for big opportunities. You want to play defense. But when you have a president that has a vision for making America great again, it causes you to believe that this country, that your small business is worth investing in. So all I can say is President Trump's returning as our 47th president has brought a lot of confidence back to the American entrepreneur and a lot of swag. That's the technical term I'm going to use here, Erick. There's a lot of swag that's been brought back to Main Street entrepreneurs.
Yeah, Clay, great term. I love it. And Erick, look, that swag, many worried, where would it be? The countless indictments against your father, the raid at Mar-a-Lago, the attempted assassinations. And yet, as you write in Under Siege, he's still standing, stronger than ever. Talk a bit about the resilience that your father has shown through it all. And again, you detail it in Under Siege, the inside story, folks, available for pre-sale right now, Amazon.com, wherever books are sold. Erick, talk more about where that resilience comes from.
Listen, I run the Trump Organization, so one of the greatest real estate, hospitality companies anywhere in the world. And, they used me as their piñata, right? And they used my father as their piñata. They wanted to do anything they could to take down my father. They wanted to take down the MAGA movement. They wanted to take down virtually all of your viewers. Everybody who believed in God. They were going after churches. They were going after families. They were going after our family unit in this country. But, they did it through my father. I mean, first they impeached him 2 times. Then they made up, kind of Russiagate. Then they made up the dirty dossiers, as you saw so well. They stripped him off of ballots in Maine and Colorado. They got rid of his free speech. I mean, they threw him off of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. They weaponized the DOJ. They weaponized the FBI. They spied on his campaign, as you know so well. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They raided Melania's room. They raided Barron's room. You know, I got 112 subpoenas. I became the most subpoenaed person in American history. I mean, they did everything they could to put us under siege. They wanted us bankrupt. They wanted us gone. They wanted every AG and every DA and every far blue, you know, state in the country and city in the country coming after my father. Well, whether it was Letitia James or Alvin Bragg or Fannie Willis and her boyfriend and, you know, Jack Smith. I mean, they were planting classified folders for photo shoots, you know, at Mar-a-Lago. I can't even begin to tell you, obviously, what it was, but they wanted to put us under siege. And then they tried to kill my father, not just in Butler, but they tried to kill my father again at the golf course in Palm Beach. And that's what they did. And then they killed our friend Charlie Kirk, right? They have done everything they could to destroy the greatest movement America's ever seen. And the good news, Eric, we won. We beat these guys. And we did it because of your viewers. We did it because of independent voices like you and because of independent voices like Clay. We beat the mainstream media. We beat, you know, the obnoxious, horrible, crooked, you know, government that we had in this country. And honestly, America is thriving because we did.
Yeah. Speaking of Charlie and his assassination, Eric, proceeds from the book, sales, profits from Under Siege, go to Turning Point. Tell us why that was so important to you. A percentage of the sales go to Turning Point, Charlie's great organization. Why was that so important to you?
This book came out, it launched on Amazon exactly 3 days before Charlie's assassination. And you guys, make no mistake, the reason that they did that to Charlie is they wanted Charlie off that stage. They want me off that stage. The reason they tried to kill my father twice is they wanted my father off that stage. They want Don off that stage. They sure as hell want you guys off that stage because we're loud voices for a movement. I mean, we had nothing else. All we had was our voice and a bullhorn and people who would come out to see us speak. And we changed politics in this country. We changed the political party, right? I mean, we literally were able to beat the entire mainstream media. We were able to beat government corruption. And they think by trying to cut the head off the snake, you can kill it. And they don't realize the movement is so much deeper than that. That is so much bigger than that. And so I'm donating proceeds because honestly, we can never cower. We can never become Joe Biden. We can't, you know, hide in our basements. We have to be on that stage. We have to be loud. We have to be, you know, unabashful. We have to be out there speaking. And so long as we do, make America great again, and common sense will ruin it. Will obviously prevail in the United States of America. And so I want to further kind of support that mission.
Talk about that. Talk about that experience walking side by side with Eric, how he handled it all, and how it feels now to see President Trump back in office after all the madness. He's back and doing great things.
Well, first off, I can tell you when Eric joined the Reawaken tour, I noticed the way he greeted people. There's people in line that would like to meet him, and there was no diva to it. I mean, I feel like Eric was more at home meeting the average person than he was meeting some of these elected politicians, that sort of thing. And I recognized that Eric was resonating with Main Street America more than any politicians we ever had on our stage. And Eric and I got to be friends over time. And when Eric decided to put out this book, Under Siege, Eric, I've been one of the few people that have had the opportunity to read this book cover to cover multiple times. And I can tell you, I'm a father, so I'm always curious, you know, what was it like being raised by Donald J. Trump? And in the book, Eric covers that in great detail. I've always thought to myself, what would it be like for your life, for your childhood, for your adolescence to involve your dad being a billionaire of a major real estate organization, perhaps one of the biggest names in America? What would that be like to be raised by that person? Then I thought to myself, as an entrepreneur, what would it be like to be tasked with running a billion-dollar organization with thousands of employees at the age of 33? The book covers that. Then I thought, you know, wow, Eric, what would it be like if your dad is being raided, if Mar-a-Lago's being raided, if your father, the former president's being raided, the home's being raided? What's it like to live through an assassination attempt? And in the book, Eric Trump covers all of those details and more. And I can just tell you, the book connects with me. I'm a Main Street entrepreneur. It connects with the few people that have read it. It is a powerful book. But again, what I love about Eric Trump the most is he is not an elitist. He's a real guy who manages a real P&L with real employees. Inflation really does impact him. And I just can't say enough good things about who Eric Trump is on camera, but more importantly, off camera. Eric Trump is the real deal.
Yeah, well said, Clay. Folks, two things. Number one, the book is called Under Siege, My Family's Fight to Save Our Nation. Amazon.com, wherever books are sold, pre-sales right now. Number two, follow Eric and Clay on X and across social media. Erick, you break down the price your dad had to pay for our nation, and vindicated, to say the least now, of course. But what about you? You've got your great wife, Laura, hosts a show on Fox News every week. You've got 2 little ones. What about the cost that the entire Trump family paid through this ordeal that you describe in Under Siege? And number 2, talk about the tightness of your family. I'm always struck, Erick, by how tight, how closely knit the Trump family is, despite all of the distractions that have been swirling around you for over a decade. Talk more about that.
Erick, they thought they could break us, and they couldn't. They couldn't break Don. They couldn't break myself. They couldn't break Ivanka. They didn't break Tiffany. They couldn't break Brett Barron. I mean, we're an incredibly close family. They did not break my father. They did not break Melania. They did not break my mother, right? I mean, they didn't break any of us. We went out there and we fought. We fought like hell. I mean, listen, I love this country. This country has given us absolutely everything. We love the American flag. We love the Pledge of Allegiance. We love God and society. We love the First Amendment right. We love our Constitution. And honestly, it was all going to hell. And by the way, it's so much fun, Erick, to see how much it's been reversed over the last, the 8 months my father has been in office. I mean, look at DEI. Look at military recruiting. I mean, you don't even hear about DEI anymore, whereas that was the only topic of conversation in boardrooms in corporate America for a 2-year period of time, 3-year period of time. I mean, you no longer have Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem. You no longer have the woke nonsense at NFL games. You no longer have soaring inflation. You no longer have crippling gas prices. You have the largest tax breaks in the history of this country. My father's hell-bent on having peace on earth. I mean, he stopped 6 wars already, and he's working very hard for a total peace in the Middle East. I mean, we live in a more secure world, because of him. We're not getting ripped off by every foreign nation. And listen, I can't tell you how many arrows that we took to the soul, to the heart, and to the back, to every part of our body. They came after us. They wanted us gone. They wanted us in prison. In fact, I said that to my father. We either win the White House, otherwise they're going to throw us in jail. I mean, that's how corrupt these people are. But it was honestly worth it. Every aspect of it was worth it, because we're saving this country right now. We're saving Christianity. We're saving our nation. We're saving our flag. We're saving the American spirit. We're saving the family unit, right? And so I will take every arrow under the sun for that, and I know my father will. None of us needed this job. Believe me, we had plenty to do, but it's been the greatest fight you could have ever embarked on, and I'm just so happy we've won. We won, and we were totally vindicated, and the entire country is with us now.
No doubt, and it's all in Under Siege. And Erick, again, the most subpoenaed man in American history, Erick Trump, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, more with Erick Trump and I on Wednesday, October 8th, right here on Stakelbeck Tonight. An extended conversation. You won't want to miss that. Guys, I want to get your take on Zohran Mamdani, because I think he is relevant to the topics discussed in Under Siege. Erick, of course, you were once based in New York City. You're in Florida now. And Clay, you're someone with a business sense, of course, a keen business mind. What would a Mamdani win mean for New York City? Erick, I'll start with you. And then, Clay, what would it mean from a business standpoint? Look, this was the economic engine driving America, New York City, for years. Both of your thoughts on this the importance, the impact of this coming New York race. Erick, you first, and then Clay.
Yeah, well, Erick, until I moved down to Florida, I lived every year of my life in New York. I know the city better than anyone. I still run a lot of properties there. We still have offices there. And, I think Trump is synonymous in New York City. I mean, you have a mayor candidate who hates the NYPD. I mean, he calls for the defunding of police, right? I mean, he hates the Jewish population. He literally said that Netanyahu should be imprisoned if he ever comes to New York. He doesn't like the Indian American community because, he's come out and said that Modi is a war criminal. He wants to nationalize supermarkets, right? I mean, you've got the best entrepreneurs in the world that barely squeak out, the supermarket business, because it's an awfully hard business, but yet, under the great direction of the government of New York City, who hasn't gotten anything right, especially crime, they're somehow going to, make that profitable and be able to save consumers money. And he wants to raise your taxes in a state where everybody's already left because the tax burden is way too high. So other than that, Mamdani is wonderful, and he wants socialism for absolutely everyone. It's a shame. New York's not a social experiment. All you need is a mayor that keeps the streets clean, safe, keeps taxes reasonable, and stay out of the way of New Yorkers. And honestly, it'll be the most prosperous, most economically sound city in the world. But this guy doesn't understand that, and I'm very sad for New York City because it looks like this guy's going to win.
Yeah, and I think it's indicative of where the Democrat Party is heading right now, Erick and Clay. Look, Clay, New York City still, Wall Street is there, still a major financial driver in America. Implications of literally a communist winning in New York.
Well, okay, this is the harshest segue I've ever done in my entire life, Erick Stakelbeck, so you just have to put up with it for a second. If this mayor wins in New York, okay, it's going to be the reverse of Mar-a-Lago. You say, what's Mar-a-Lago? It's like the premium resort location. It's $2 million, I believe, Eric Trump, to become a member there, if you're approved, $2 million. So New York City would become the reverse of Mar-a-Lago. But if you want to go to actual Mar-a-Lago, what you do right now is you buy a copy of Eric Trump's book, Under Siege, and if you text this number, Erick Stakelbeck, but if you want to win a chance, if you want an opportunity to win a trip to spend a meal with Eric Trump and myself, all you got to do is text proof of purchase to this phone number, 918-851-0102. And if you're out there watching today's show and you're in a tight spot financially, you don't even have to buy a book, but we wish that you would. And you can just text this number to be entered into the drawing. So you're going to experience reverse communism. You're going to experience all that capitalism has to offer at Mar-a-Lago. Text that number.
Hey, Eric, Mar-a-Lago is definitely reverse communism. That much I can tell you.
No doubt, Eric. And Clay, you are a great hype man, my friend. That's one of the reasons we love you. When my book comes out, you're going to hold that very sign up with the phone number as well. Okay, Eric, final thoughts. And by the way, you'll be back with us, of course, sit down, extended sit down, folks, Wednesday, October 8th, coming up. Eric and I here on Stakelbeck Tonight. Eric, final thoughts, big takeaways from Under Siege. About a minute left.
Listen, it's the greatest story about the fight to save a nation, and that's exactly what it is. You know, and my father led the charge, and we all led the charge, and you had the greatest people in the history of the nation that were behind us saving this country from the radical left, the evil radical left. You know, it was an amazing fight. The movement came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere from family that knew absolutely nothing about politics, that was laughed at, that was silenced, and the American people wouldn't put up with it. And so it's a great book about resilience, about the ability to fight back, doing it as a family, doing it for a nation, doing it at great personal sacrifice, and being able to triumph. You know, it's really good over evil, and that's exactly what Under Siege is about. They put us under siege. They wanted to kill us, and we wouldn't let them. And ultimately, we won in the greatest political victory in United States history. And I could not be more proud of my father, and I could not be more proud of you and the movement and Christianity and our Constitution and God-fearing Americans. We live in the best country in the world, and we will never, ever, ever let it slip away.
Eric, well said. Great stuff. We're so glad you wrote the book. Again, folks, it is called Under Siege, available right now for pre-sale wherever books are sold. Clay, host of the Thrive Time Show and the ultimate hype man. Guys, great seeing you as always. God bless. Keep up the great work. We'll see you again soon. Stakelbeck Tonight, my all-new nightly series on current events through a bold biblical lens. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching, and God bless.